What's up, everybody? Welcome to our predictions and bets for UFC Fight Night 230. Sadiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza. This weekend here, it was a holiday weekend. It was a long weekend. We had a lot of stuff going on. So this is just going to be one episode this week. We've already preloaded the pay-per-view card. So the minute that card's over on Saturday, we'll have our next content up for you guys. So we'll make sure we're back to our regular schedule and give you guys lots of stuff to look forward to. But let's get right into this card. A-Train, you ready?
Yeah, man, let's go.
Let's go. First fight of the night, we got Ashley Yoder versus Emily DuCote. We got Yoder coming in at plus 250, DuCote minus 334. I think that's absolutely insane. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Yoder's not good, but one thing she does do is she makes it to the bell every single time. She makes it to that final horn. She goes to the decision every single fight. And then you got Emily DuCote. She's so low volume. Like she had some terrible performances. So I just can't see how Emily DuCote is minus 334. Does she win? Probably, but it's going the distance. So I don't know. I ain't going to play her money line at minus 334. I think it's absolutely insane. I'd be playing fight goes the distance. This is going to a decision. I can't see any other scenario than a decision. What do you think?
Well, like Yoder isn't that high volume either, and her striking is actually pretty atrocious from what I've seen. She always she tries to push the takedown, but DuCote herself has a 90% takedown defense. So and Ashley herself has a 30% takedown accuracy in her fights in the UFC. So yeah, I don't see this thing going to the ground. I feel like it's going to be a stand-up war. War used very loosely, very loosely. But DuCote's last fight was against Gordon. She didn't look so good. I actually had higher hopes for her in that fight. And they both faced Angela Hill. But it's that Jinyu Frey loss to Ashley Yoder that really gets my mind going, because Jinyu Frey is actually on her way out, right? So I feel like she's on her decline. And Godinez is on an incline. So they both, I mean, DuCote had a better fight the last time. I don't see any path for Ashley to actually win this fight, but the odds suck. Let's be real here. You're better off taking the fight goes the distance at minus 350 for a bet. Otherwise, I feel DuCote's safe, but their odds aren't safe. That's the only thing. Her strikes per minute's about six landed, as Yoder's super low volume, and the technical aspect for DuCote's low volume. At least she knows how to strike. I'm gonna say that much. That's it.
A-Train, not picking on you here because everybody on the show should know we do this raw. We go off our heads, everything. But I think maybe you have both mics on. Your audio is really choppy.
Is it really?
It was like really distorted.
Does it sound better now?
Yep.
You want to redo that part?
That's one fight. It was a fight that nobody cares about anyways.
All right, let's go.
We make mistakes too, people.
Yeah.
Next fight of the night, we got Chris Gutierrez versus Ali Alateng. Strange fight. I think Chris Gutierrez gets it done basically just based off size alone. Alateng is very undersized. He can be a fun power puncher. He's going to stand here and try and throw punches. He's going to try to throw bombs. But Chris is pretty good at using range. I mean, obviously, he looked terrible last fight. He did get dropped by Pedro Munoz. He did get dropped. But generally speaking, he's good at backing up, good at not getting knocked out, good at keeping a safe distance. And I think that's exactly what he's going to do here. Alateng won't be able to catch him. And I think it's going to be kind of a long, boring fight, to be honest. But give me Chris by decision. And he is coming in at minus 334 to Alateng's plus 230. I like Chris. Won't be a huge play. What do you think?
I like Chris too. It's both orthodox strikers against each other, but he does land almost like 5 strikes a minute to Alateng's 3. Alateng, severely undersized, like you said, for this division, and he has to take guys down to win fights. But I don't think he could take down Chris at his size. And you got to remember, before that loss to Munoz, which I was actually on Chris's side that time. It was a win against Edgar, a win against Bakhtaral, a win against Claris, and a win against UL. And then it was, I believe, a draw against Cody Durden. So it's not like Chris has, been lacking. He had a bad fight. I'm not going to look at it like that. But again, like, I'm almost better taking the over 2.5 at minus 300 than actually taking Chris at minus 350. I mean, there's a small chance Alateng can come out. I don't think he's knocking him out though. I don't think he's gonna have to outvolume him. But I think Chris is such a good distance striker with the kicks and everything that every time Alateng tries to get in the pocket, that he's just going to be stymied. I got Chris by decision as well. But yeah, I don't know. The odds are kind of like looped, just like the card before that. The odds were really high on some of these guys.
Yeah, for sure. All right, moving on. Next fight of the night, we got Irina Alekseeva versus Melissa Dixon. Alekseeva, hard to get footage on. She does have a couple, or she has the knee bar last fight. I think she might even have two of them, I feel like. But she's coming in with the judo background, so you'd think that she's the grappler here. However, odds makers and experts think that Melissa Dixon will be able to kind of grind her out in very boring fashion. They're thinking that Dixon will be the one on top here. Now, Dixon, no finishing ability, no striking at all. Her striking leaves a lot to be desired. But I guess they're banking that she's going to get those takedowns and ride it out. If there's a finish, all the finishing powers on the Alekseeva side. I think this is a very tough fight to predict. And just to let you all know, Alekseeva is coming in at plus 125, Dixon minus 150. Dixon has faced the better competition. I don't want to root for a boring win here. I almost want to pick Alekseeva just because I'm rooting for the girl who has some kind of finishing upside. But it's just so hard to find footage on her. I guess I'll roll with the experts' prediction here that Dixon will grind out a decision by being on top. But I'm really not rooting for it, and I'm not playing it. This is not a fight I'll be betting. What do you think?
It's the same thing as the last time with Stephanie Egger. We're banking on Egger taking Alekseeva down, and then just riding her out, or playing her jiu-jitsu game, using the judo to get it down. She used the judo to get it down, but when she got it down, Alekseeva was actually pretty quick with that knee bar on her that time. So both girls leave striking to be desired. So this is gonna be a sloppy fight. No one's gonna like dictate any sort of technical distance or any one of those kind of things. Like, I wouldn't even bring striking into this because I don't feel like it's gonna be a big part. Someone hits someone with like a weird punch, yeah, that might happen. I feel like this is gonna end in a scramble. I don't like the fight either. I think it's the same as the last time. I'm gonna go Alekseeva by submission. And I should have actually rode my. I said it last time too against Egger that the odds were like plus 300, so that was a lot weirder. Plus 125. There's not a lot of juice out there for her. I think she's the better fighter because she has one UFC fight versus a girl that it's hard. I didn't find much in Melissa Dixon either, and what I found wasn't very impressive, to be quite honest with you. So dogger pass here, but not a strong lean.
Yeah, no, I agree with that for sure. All right, since we had three boring fights, they're going to finally give us a finish here. We got Terrence McKinney versus Brendan Marotte, or Marotte. I don't know how you pronounce his last name. Now, Terrence McKinney coming in at minus 500. Brendan coming in at plus 3. Can't even see my own note here. 334, it looks like. I don't think Terrence McKinney should ever be minus 500 personally, especially against a puncher like Brendan. Brendan is a finisher. So like this fight, I like all the unders here. I mean, what's Terrence's kryptonite? A big punch. Brendan likes a scrap, man. He is a scrappy guy. He can hit. He is a finisher. Both huge finishers. So give me the under. Give me under 1.5. Dare I say the guy knocks out Terrence McKinney? I think it's quite possible. Or go with the Terrence McKinney finish under 1.5. Either way, you got to play a finish to get some value here. I don't see any chance this goes over. They're both finishers. What do you think?
Same thing. I mean, Terrence, the only way Terrence wins fights is if he goes for it. Like right away. Wrestling, striking is better than it actually looks. It looks really sloppy, but it's actually pretty good. He's actually a really good fighter. And if you could get an ounce of cardio into him, he'd be like the top of the division, to be honest with you. Like, those are the kind of skills that Terrence McKinney has. Like, he has top of the division skills. Absolute great wrestler. He's a great ground game, but you keep him on the ground for half the first round and he's just done. This guy, what's it called? Brendan Marotte. He's a big puncher, right? So, I mean, go live on it. to be honest with you. Marotte, if he survives one round, he's gonna finish Terrence McKinney. So folks, like, I just let him go one round. Who's the fight 2 fights ago? McKinney, was it Basharat? I think it was.
No, the guy who looked just like him.
Yeah, Sadikov, not Sadikov, sorry. So he had a pretty good first round that Terrence McKinney did in that fight, and then he just fell off a cliff. And I didn't feel like Sadikov really did that crazy amount of stuff to win that fight. He did at the end, obviously, but I feel like that was more of a gas section. So, like, this Marotte guy, I don't know. I think he could get dismantled in the first 3 to 4 minutes and then come back and win, like, straight up come back and win. So I feel live spot or McKinney first round are the only 2 places you can go with that.
Yep, I agree 100%. All right, next fight of the night, we got Tainara Lisboa versus Ravina Oliveira. We got Lisboa coming in at minus 334, and we got Oliveira plus 250. This is a very strange fight. Oliveira hasn't been active at all, so there's nothing really recent of her. And I mean, Lisboa doesn't do anything to really warrant being minus 334. I think this fight is an absolute pass because it's such a wild card. I don't know what to expect here at all. I will not be playing it. If you want to bet for the purpose of giving you a bet, I bet over 1.5. I have no idea what those odds are going to come out at. The props come out tomorrow, but I would take an over, but nothing would surprise me here, and I will not be playing this fight. Too much inactivity, nothing going on. I haven't seen anything from them recently. Not playing it. What do you think?
Well, Lisboa is known as like the grappler of the two, right? You know what I mean? Like, she wants to take down people and ride it out on the ground. Now, I don't know what she's going to do if she can't take it down, because this girl, mind you, shitty competition. Shitty. But she is a finisher. She does punch, and she does go out there to win fights. Mind you, again, at a way lower level than Lisboa has. I can see Lisboa taking her to the ground, grinding us out, goes over 1.5. I can also see her getting caught, like she did again. I believe it was Natalie Silva, the kick to the gut in the 3rd round after getting dominated for a round and a half. So, I mean, this girl, what's her name? Ravine Oliveira, I think it is. She's not going to dominate her the same way Natalie Silva dominated her, but like, there's definitely a chance. So, I mean, obviously, like, it's not warranted to plus 300. I mean, the minus 300 or whatever it is. I'm going to take the dog on this one if you're going to play it. Otherwise, just pass this damn fight. But plus 250 on 2 relatively unknowns isn't too bad.
Yeah, for sure.
I like the finish too. I like the finish also in that fight, both ways.
Interesting. Girls finishes. You don't see that too often, but
yeah,
that'd be nice to see. I'll root for it. All right, last prelim of the night, we got Darren Elkins versus TJ Brown. We got Elkins coming in at plus 162, TJ Brown coming in at minus 188. It is very difficult for me to pick Darren Elkins because the guy got absolutely massacred by Jonathan Pierce, who I think is very good. I think Pierce is a very, very good fighter, but he also got massacred by Cub Swanson, who I don't think is a very good fighter. I know Swanson has all his fans in the world out there, so I'm not going to try to turn this into shitting on Swanson. I'm not, but it's just hard for me to picture Elkins winning after those last couple performances where he got massacred. However, he took a friggin' beating. So one thing he is he's very, very tough. He's a veteran. He's been around forever. So I am almost feeling like I like the TJ Brown, which is minus 188, but then by decision, because I know Elkins can take a pounding, and that's definitely going to bring you into plus money. For sure, that'll be plus money. So give me TJ Brown by decision. Don't really love TJ Brown by any means. I just can't pick Elkins here. What do you think?
If TJ Brown's gas tank was better, this would be an absolute lock for TJ Brown to beat Darren Elkins. So the only problem I think TJ Brown skill-wise is tenfold in Darren Elkins. Like, he's the better wrestler. He has the better ground game. He's actually the better striker as well. Elkins was more of a scrapper, durable guy, outwitted you, outlasted you. But I don't know how the cardio is nowadays. Like, it looks like it's been falling a little bit off the cliff. And he's very, very hittable, right? So, and he's not been able to take a punch like he used to. And he's going to bleed in the first round, everybody. He will bleed in the first round again. Right above the nose, right there. That's where he likes to get hit. But anyway, truthfully, he's older in a lower class weight division. Like everything points to TJ Brown, but his cardio falls off a cliff. At least there's one thing that does keep me going. TJ Brown by decision sounds great because when his cardio does go down, he continues to wrestle. And once he gets you on the ground, he might be tired. The only thing he can get stuck into is that team alpha male guillotine. So if he can watch out for the team alpha male guillotine, then he should actually ride out a pretty easy decision, pretty easy win, to be honest with you. He's the better skilled fighter. He's the younger fighter. He's everything should be TJ Brown in this fight. But his cardio's not the greatest. And sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. If it doesn't, Darren Elkins could definitely take over. But it's hard for me to bank on that. That's all.
Hey, fair enough. All right, guys, moving on to the main card. If you haven't already, please please subscribe. We appreciate it. This is actually one of my favorite fights of the night. We got Christian Rodriguez versus Cameron Saaiman. Rodriguez 9-1, Saaiman 9-0. What are the odds here? Minus 150 for Rodriguez, plus 125 for Cameron. This, I think, is a classic striker versus grappler. Rodriguez is going to want to take him down and utilize the grappling, and I think Cameron should have dare I say, significant advantage on the feet. Man, I want to play the dog here. I'm a big Cameron Saaiman fan here. I'm just not positive how his takedown defense is going to hold up. I think this is a very big fight. This fight's going to tell a lot for his future. But you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to roll with my boy here. I'm going to roll with the dog. I'm going to roll with the striker. I know rarely you should go with normally you go with the grappler, but I'm going with the striker. Give me Cameron Saaiman by decision. I think Rodriguez is pretty tough. I think this is probably going to go a while. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Rodriguez does have some striking. It's pretty technical, but he is low volume. He only throws about 3 strikes a minute to Cameron. Saimon's fucking 5.5 almost, So, and they're both about the same with the defense. So it does come to the grappling now. That's exactly where I have a problem with Saaiman. The 40% grappling defense, the 40% takedown defense, it's not good on paper. He's looked better of recent days, but like, who's the guy he fought? Amanda Martinez, was it? His first fight? Was that his first fight? I can't remember. It was his first fight. He got taken down a couple times where I think he should have actually not been taken down. And Rodriguez did just fight Rosas Jr. and, kind of, hold him down, a guy that's known to grapple. So I don't know who. I could see it both ways. I mean, I'm gonna roll with Christian Rodriguez right now. I think he's a more complete fighter, and if he can implement the ground game, he wins. But don't get me wrong, I won't be complaining if Saaiman wins. I mean, if he can he's young. So young guys shore up takedown defense. Young guys do something good from fight to fight. So I can't be completely sure that he hasn't shored up a little bit of a takedown defense. It's not like Rodriguez held back a little bit, maybe because he knew Rosas Jr. came after you. Saaiman also holds back. He's not like, he doesn't come right after you. I mean, he took his time with Terrence Mitchell. Terrence Mitchell just sucked. That's all. I mean, he took his time with him, though. He didn't go right after him, right? Because that's what some guys need, right? And I feel like Rodriguez matadored Rosas Jr., so they both have decent fight IQ. So it's who implements their game. And I mean, the odds dictate it, and I dictate. I mean, like, both are pretty close. I mean, maybe look at who wins round 1 and live bet it that way. But for now, I'm going to take the more well-rounded fighter, but just by that much.
Yep. No, sounds good. Makes sense. All right, next fight of the night, we got Edgar Chairez versus Daniel Lacerda. Chairez coming in at minus 300, Lacerda plus 240. I think the odds have widened because of what happened there a couple weeks ago. So I think the whole world's probably picking a Chairez submission here, probably another choke or something like that. And I'll agree. I'll take Chairez by submission, try to get that to plus money, hopefully. Not sure, again, the props aren't out yet, but Chairez submission. What do you think?
I mean, was he really like Lacerda has this tendency to win the first round, and he was, aside from jumping that guillotine that Chairez did in that last fight, was he really winning that first round? It was pretty close. I mean, nothing really had happened to that point, but they were gonna bang. If anything is good, the unders look pretty fucking good in this fight, right? You know what I mean? So what is the unders on this bad boy? Under 2.5 is minus 390. Under 1.5, 1.5. Sorry, minus 180.
The problem with that, though, is Chairez really going to get finished? He's Mexican chin, good grappler. So is he going to get at that point? You might as well, if you're picking it to be under, you're pretty much picking a Chairez finish. No, like I don't think Lacerda is going to finish. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't know if Chairez really gets finished.
Wasn't Lacerda the guy that took Vergara to the brink? Yeah, he took Vergara to the brink before he
Vergara
actually.
sucks.
Yeah, I know, but like, is Chairez any better? I don't think he's better because he hung with Tatsuro Taira. Tatsuro Taira doesn't really strike, right? So he has a good ground game. I don't know, man. This fight's weird. I like the unders. Chairez probably wins. Minus 300 is not good, but plus 240 on Daniel Lacerda isn't good either. Like, you're gonna have to give me plus 300, plus 400 on that guy because I know his gas tanks even. I talk about TJ Brown's gas tank. I'll talk about this guy's gas tank. It like falls right off the cliff, like a 90-degree drop after a certain point, right? So there's a drastic decline. So yeah, I can't get behind it. Chairez by submission probably, but I don't love it.
Yeah, no, fair enough. Next fight of the night, interesting one. We got Michel Pereira making his middleweight debut versus Andre Petroski. This is Pereira after missing weight versus Wonder Boy. He's being forced to move up. I don't think he's going to be outsized by any means. The guy's massive, so I'm not worried about him or his size at middleweight. And he is coming in as the favorite, minus 170 to Petroski's plus 140. And I think the reason for that is Petroski's a gasser, man. So Petroski's going to gas. He's not going to get the first round submission, and then he's going to get beat up. So give me Pereira to beat him up in the second and third round. Probably decision. Maybe he knocks him out just because the other guy's so tired late in the fight. But I like Pereira over 1.5. I think he takes over. The longer the fight goes, he starts beating up a very gassed out Petroski. What do you think?
I like Pereira a lot here. I've liked Pereira lately a lot as well. I mean, like his fight IQ's actually gotten better. Like he's really using the grappling in mixing it in with his striking. Like everyone came in, he was doing backflips back in the day, doing stupidity in the ring. I mean, the octagon, sorry. And then, and he would gas himself. But I found out he's been going the distance lately. His strikes per minute are 5.09. Petroski's about 3.5, and the takedown accuracy for Petroski is 54, but in turn the takedown defense on Pereira is 94. So if anywhere and it's going to take anyone down, it's going to be Petroski losing it on that 71% takedown defense. And I can bank on that because Pereira in the third round has been pushing the wrestling if you go back and watch the fight. So the fight IQ's there. I think he's a good fighter. I actually think he's way more skilled than people give him credit for. He's fought the way better competition than Petroski, like not even close, right? And Madaev, Chaos Williams, Nico Price, Andre Filo, Ponzinibbio, way better resume than Petroski ever had. He showed a lot more IQ than Petroski's ever had. Honestly, Petroski, he's actually overachieved in the UFC, to be honest with you. There's a couple times where I thought he shouldn't be that big of a favorite. He's not going to win this fight or whatever, right? Maybe Nick Maximov was probably the one that I thought that he was going to get, taken down and controlled. And he's overachieved. So, no, Pereira's, dare I say, lock. He's a better fighter.
I think he's my most confident pick this card, to be honest.
Dare I say lock? I don't want to, but like he's the better fighter. Everything's better. The striking's better. The takedowns are better. The ground game's better. The resume is better.
Well, I don't know if the ground game's better.
Well, the ground game's better. Like
Petroski's a submission beast, no?
Yeah, but 94% takedown defense really negates your. Is he a submission beast or is he just stronger than everybody? Right. But like, is he just stronger? Some guys are just stronger. Like, remember Uriah Faber? He had us a lot of submissions on his, but he was. I wouldn't say he's a submission beast. But that guillotine, that alpha male guillotine, when you're strong, sometimes submissions happen when you're just strong, right? And Petroski is strong, but I think Pereira is more well-rounded, more ways to victory, more paths.
Yep. No, I agree 100%. All right, moving on. We got the featured fight. We got Jonathan Martinez versus Adrian Yanez. I don't like this fight because I'm a huge Yanez fan, and I'm very scared that he's going to take another loss here and slide further down the ranks here because I had very high hopes for him before he got knocked out by Rob Font. I had very, very high hopes for him. So I do still like his hands here. Martinez has been knocked out by Davy Grant in the past, so I think it is possible that Yanez does score this knockout, but I'll be scared the whole time that Martinez decisions him because that's kind of what Martinez does. So fuck it. I got to roll with my boy. I got to show loyalty. Give me Yanez by knockout to get it done, but it will not shock me if he gets decisioned here by Jonathan Martinez. But I don't care. I'm going Yanez, knockout. Not going to be playing it big, but I really hope he rebounds here because I like the kid. What do you like? What do you think?
I mean, these guys could be in the same position at this point because that Nurmagomedov fight with Martinez was like razor thin close the last time, right? So it was like back and forth and back and forth. So Yanez, man, I mean, he's still striking is pretty damn good. It's almost 7 strikes landed per minute. I mean, he did get knocked out by Rob Font. Probably should have stayed back a little bit more than he did. Went for it way too much. But his takedown defense is 100%. So Jonathan Martinez is not going to get him. So it's going to be like Martinez's leg kick game against Yanez's boxing game, right? So it's like how Yanez is like protecting himself. I like Yanez here too. I mean, it's a close fight, but Martinez has been knocked down numerous times in numerous fights, right? So I like the plus money on Yanez. You might not get that again, especially if he wins this fight. He's going to be a big favorite the next time. The value is all on Yanez. I think his hands, he has the more power, the more finish equity for sure. The more finish equity. But I mean, Jonathan Martinez, that Davy Grant knockout happened a while back, and it felt like more of a flash knockout because he knocked down Davy Grant in the first round of that fight as well, right? So I like Yanez, just the money. Well, the money line plus 100 is what's got me. As for the under, probably under 2.5, but that's not strong. That's not a strong play on my pick.
All right, moving on. Co-main event, we got Jennifer Maia versus Viviane Araujo. Maia coming in at minus 160, Viviane plus 130. I think this is actually a razor close fight. I'm a big Maia fan, but I think Viviane has all the tools to make this. Like, I think they're going to be a spitting image of each other on the feet. I think this is going to kind of play out as a boxing match. And Araujo is a tough chick, man. Yes, she has a bunch of losses, but they're all decisions against tough fighters. Like, one thing she's going to do is she's still going to come forward. She's going to throw down. So I think this is going to be actually a good striking match that's going to go the distance. So I think whatever side you're on, I think you're going to play by decision here or like the winner by over 1.5. Like, I don't see anything quick. I see a very tough boxing match here. What do you think?
Yeah, me as well. I mean, they both have about 4.5 strikes landed per minute. They both absorb. Araujo just a slightly more absorbed strikes per minute. They're both orthodox. They both don't really take anybody down. I mean, Araujo's going to try, but even if Maia gets onto the ground, she'll get back up. And she showed that she can take down high class competition. She took down Shevchenko in one round. Everybody likes to say that so much. She's tough. I mean, I feel like this is Maia's fight, and she can dictate the range. She's been dictating in the last couple fights. She dictated the range in the Morose fight. She dictated the range in the Casey O'Neill fight. And Araujo got some power, but she's not knocking out Jennifer Maia. So, yeah, I mean, I like the Maia side, just because Araujo showed to slow down as the fight goes on, and Maia doesn't slow down as the fight goes on. She's either outclassed or she'll outclass you. And she's been losing to the top. I mean, I know that Araujo lost to Hibas and Grasso back-to-back, but, who's Maia losing to? Fiorot, Chukagian, good strikers in the division, top women, right? So they both are facing top competition. Nobody has, a resume any better than the other one. They both have pretty decent resumes. Now I'm just going with the person I think that can dictate range because this is not going to get to the ground, I don't think. Well, if it does, it won't stay there.
Yep. No, 100%. Yeah, give me Maia by decision, but I think it's going to be a good boxing match. Mostly
me too.
Punches. All right, moving on. We got the main event. We got Sadiq Yusuff versus Edson Barboza. Barboza coming in at plus 137. Sadiq minus 163. Don't love this fight for a main event. I'm going to root for Edson Barboza just because, hey, I've been watching the guy for so long, but unfortunately, I don't know. He doesn't really like being marched down. I think Sadiq's boring to me. I don't think he's like the most volume, but he does come forward. So I think Sadiq will get this done. But I'm rooting for a highlight friggin' spinning kick to Sadiq's head. That'd be great. I'd love to see it. And So I'm rooting for the Barboza knockout. Give me Sadiq. I don't think he's the most exciting fighter. I don't love him. I think he needs to make a big impression here, because if he does another boring fight, he might not find himself on a main card again. Like, I don't think Super Sadiq is super interesting to me. Yeah, so not a big confidence fight, but I like Sadiq money line, I guess. What do you think?
He only is about a strike more than Barboza. So, like, honestly, Barboza has a better chance than people give him for it. Like, in this fight, like, let's be honest. Like, if this turns into a 25-minute kickboxing match, like, Barboza's right in there. Like, is Super Sadiq a better kickboxer than Barboza? I think not. Barboza doesn't like to get, like, pushed up and scrambled. But again, like, Billy Q tried to do that, and he got a knee for his troubles, right? So I'm not, Barboza's still in this fight. If Super Sadiq's not willing to use any ground game here, this fight's razor thin close, right? So because when does Barboza look like he's not, like, in the fight? Like, would guys like Bryce Mitchell take him down and hold him down, right? It's those kind of fights that Barboza aren't in. Like, all the kickboxing ones, he's right in there. With the Dan Ige, he arguably got robbed against Dan Ige. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, I don't know, man. I am going to take the dog in this fight because I like... You're telling me it's going to be a 25-minute kickboxing match and that Barboza does have a plus money chance at beating Super Sadiq. So what Super Sadiq's last loss was to Arnold Allen. Did he outstrike Arnold Allen? Yes. Did he outland Arnold Allen? Yes. Did he outvolume Arnold Allen? Yes. But what happened? He got knocked down twice. Same thing can happen here. Yes, he doesn't have the greatest striking defense, and Barboza still hits with a punch. So, one knockdown, Barboza wins that round. The Marlon Vera effect might be in town for this one, Like, get outstruck by 80, but win the fight by unanimous decision. Crazy, right? So the judging's a lot different nowadays, and I mean, Sadiq at plus, minus money is gross. I don't like it. He doesn't. I don't get it from him. I just don't see it. Barboza's always been one of my favorites. If I get that far, I'm gonna leave this off the parlays, bro. If I get this far, there's gonna be a single on Barboza, especially if I win a ticket or two. I'm gonna put, like, some money on Barboza just to see my boy go for it. Like, I always
back your boy. Gotta back your boy.
Terry Adam, bro. That fight, the kick heard around the world. Like, all those fights, Barboza looks like he's losing and then he wins. But he wins. He's always won.
Hey, when he wins by knockout, man. He's not going to win a decision generally. So if you're going to sprinkle him, you almost might as well he's going to find a big shot at some point.
We know Sadiq can get knocked down. Arnold Allen knocked him down, and Arnold Allen doesn't hit that hard. I don't think so. Aside from Dan Hooker, he was the only fight I've ever seen Arnold Allen show any type of power before. It's just good boxing, right? So I feel like Sadiq can get done by a technical boxer. That is that's exactly what Barboza is. So yeah, it's not minus 170 worthy. I'll tell you that much. Not like how Michel Pereira is minus 170 worthy, and how TJ Brown, how they have very much, I feel like, a lot of, above their opponents. Not this fight. This fight's razor thin. Thin.
I agree. It's a pick 'em.
Yeah, man.
All right, guys, there you have it. Please subscribe, drop us a comment. We've preloaded the pay-per-view card, so that's going to be dropped right after this card. So look for more content Saturday night, Sunday morning, latest. Hey, they just announced Volkanovski versus Islam. Drop us a comment who you think's going to win that one. That should be an interesting fight, and we'll see you guys soon.
Usman just got signed to fight Chimaev just now.
Usman Chimaev. Let us know who you think wins, Islam or Volk, Chimaev or Usman. Let us know your favorite pick for this card, your favorite prop, what you guys like, what you guys don't like, and we'll drop our next video, like I said, Saturday night, Sunday morning latest. It's already ready to go. We'll see you then.